Hi, I'm Janae Claiborne, and this is Sweet Potato Soul. Oh, you do have my cookbook in stock? Great, thanks, bye! Have you ordered my cookbook, Vegan Vibes, yet? This book comes out on February 4th, 2025, but it's available for pre-order right now. And when you pre-order, you get some bonuses like free recipes and a cooking class with me. You're gonna love this book. It's got 100 delicious vegan recipes that are inspired by the South, by my travels all around the world, and just like good food. You know what I'm saying? So pre-order today. In today's video, we are talking about a controversial topic, one that I have avoided. Like, why? I guess I don't like controversy. But today we are jumping into the question, will soy kill you? Will it kill you? Will it give you cancer? Will it give you man boobs, which is another random myth that I don't like? But we're gonna look at the evidence to see whether or not soy is good for you. And if it is good for you, in what ways? And also we'll talk about the best forms of soy you should be eating, if you should be eating it. And we'll also discuss who should actually avoid soy altogether, because there are some people like that, I will say. So let's dive in. First off, soy is a legume that is native to Asia, where it has been consumed for thousands and thousands of years. It's a great plant-based protein, but it is high in phytoestrogens, which mimic estrogen in the human body. And that is where the question of is it good for you or not comes from. There's been a lot of confusion around this because a lot of people think that if soy has estrogen mimicking effects in the body, then that must mean then it could cause hormonal cancers. Or if you've already had a hormonal cancer like breast cancer, that it could be bad for you and potentially cause the cancer to reemerge. Now, is that true or not? In this video, we're going to talk about those studies that show whether or not it's true, but also I'd like to dive into a few more health benefits of soy so that you can make up your mind whether or not it's worth the risk. Is there a risk? We'll talk about whether or not there is a risk too. Before we dive into the question of cancer, we're going to talk about the most obvious and well appreciated benefit of soy, the protein. Soy is a complete protein, and though it's also a legume like other beans and lentils and peas are, it is the one that is an actual complete protein, meaning that it contains all the essential amino acids that the human body needs to create a complete protein. Now, I also need to tell you that it is not essential at all for you to eat complete protein foods, but it's also nice to know because your body breaks down the protein that you eat into these amino acids and uses them where it needs it to, and it recombines them. Now, you don't have to eat a complete protein and your body is still able to get certain amino acids that that food has, but it is also nice that soy is a complete protein and it itself contains all the essential acids that your body needs. But I don't want you to think that I'm only going to get my plant-based protein from soy because it's a complete protein. That is not necessary. Your body can break it down to its essential amino acids, even if it's not a complete amino acid profile in black beans or lentils or peas for that sake. Eat them all, because they all have their own benefits. They all have their own antioxidants and other phytonutrients. So don't only rely on soy for your protein. Eat it as a part of a diverse plant-based diet that has all sorts of plant-based proteins, because there are plenty, which I shared in my last video. So check that out if you haven't yet. For an example of how great of a protein source soy is, 1 cup of mukimame, which are just the naked soybeans, like edamame, the beans inside, just the actual bean, that's mukimame, which is a soybean. 1 cup of that contains 20 grams of protein, and that's a lot for one single food. And it's so versatile. You can add it to noodles and salads and soups and just eat it as a snack. So it's a great plant-based protein and it's inexpensive. It's available everywhere. So we love it for that. Another benefit of protein in the body is that it helps keep you fuller for longer. We love that, especially when we're going vegan, and a lot of people become vegan and they're not eating enough food and they're hungry all the time. We don't love that. We love to eat a meal and feel nourished for a long time. And protein helps with that, especially when you've eaten enough protein, enough food to actually feel full. You know what I'm saying? But protein keeps you fuller for longer, but soy also has something else that helps you feel fuller for longer. One, fiber, but another thing, it has a low glycemic index. Lower glycemic indexes are great because you consume the food without causing a big spike in energy. It gives you energy, but it is prolonged, long-lasting energy without a crash. Now, a lot of highly processed foods will give you that spike in energy and crash, and a lot of processed foods contain soy. So we're not really talking about that. We're talking about wholesome forms of soy like tofu and tempeh that are eaten in conjunction with other whole foods, because we can't isolate just like tofu, because who's going to just have a meal of just tofu? You're going to have it with other vegetables and maybe a whole grain or other foods, right? So if you want to feel fuller for longer, if you want to have that sustained energy, eat a wholesome form of soy like tofu or tempeh or edamame, along with other wholesome foods on your plate. You're going to feel fuller for longer, and you're going to be able to take advantage of all the benefits that we're discussing in this video today. Soy, like other legumes and other plant-based foods, is also rich in fiber. But again, it's got to be the wholesome form of soy, right? Highly processed soy protein, isolates, that's not high in fiber. The whole food is high in fiber, and that fiber is linked to keeping you full for longer, also gut health, but also a reduced risk of colon cancer, which brings me to my next topic of cancer, because I know that is why you're watching this video. You want to know, is soy going to give you reproductive cancer or not? Are these soy phytoestrogens good or are they bad for you? Let's talk about it. There are so many different foods that contain phytoestrogens. Those are basically estrogens that are made by plants. Now, they are not the same as human or animal estrogens, but they may have an estrogen mimicking effect in the body. Now, the question is whether or not that effect is good or bad. Turns out that ample studies on humans show that it's actually good in reducing your risk of hormonal cancer, which includes breast cancer and prostate cancer. The phytoestrogens and isoflavones from soy help to protect the body against reproductive cancers, not cause them. Now, there's a lot of confusion because of the way studies have been done on animals versus humans, but human evidence shows that soy isoflavones help reduce your risk of those types of cancer. And if you look at populations, we can see that women in Asia who eat soy throughout their life have a reduced risk of breast cancer at any age in life, which is pretty telling. Soy has been eaten for thousands of years in Asia, and it's clearly linked with reduction in breast cancer. So why would we be so afraid of it causing breast cancer if we can see that there is plenty of evidence to the contrary? Now let's move on to bone health. We were just talking about the phytoestrogens that are present in soy, but it turns out that the phytoestrogen is also helpful in menopausal and postmenopausal women in protecting their bone health. Studies show that soy phytoestrogen actually helps to reduce your risk of bone degradation in menopause and postmenopausal women, which is very cool. But there's another reason that soy is protective for bone health. That's because it's high in protein. Now, I'm making my own link here, but I'm making a link, okay? Soy is high in protein, and one thing that is very important when you age and go through menopause is to eat ample amounts of protein and eating a healthy diet, but also weight training. Building muscle helps to protect the bone, preventing bone loss and fractures and osteoporosis in women as we age. You also have to eat plenty of protein in your diet to be able to support that muscle growth. So when you're eating a nutritious, balanced diet that includes wholesome forms of soy in addition to other legumes, then you can reduce your risk of bone loss especially when you are supporting it and complementing it with weight training and building muscle, which is quite cool. But I know it's hard to like get in the gym and lift weights, and you might need a personal trainer. And I know that's complicated, but it is lovely that eating the food, the simple food, is actually the easy part, because I like to eat. So it's nice to read that it can also help your bones without having to go to the gym, though the gym is very important and obviously probably even more important, but I digress. But there's another reason that soy is good for your bone health. That is because it contains phosphorus, and tofu, which is a common form of soy, contains calcium. Now the phosphorus and the calcium are kind of like the cement, the scaffolding for your bones, keeping them strong and healthy. And the protein is great for supporting that muscle building that comes along with strength training. The combination of all these things together makes soy good for your bones and good for your whole body as you age. We're going to keep talking about our aging bodies and talk about how soy is also good for menopause. But studies show that the estrogen in soy that mimics your body's estrogen helps to reduce the hormonal fluctuations in menopause. And that means reduces the symptoms of menopause. So eating a wholesome diet that has some wholesome forms of soy helps to reduce the symptoms of menopause. So I've said a lot about soy. I've talked about the controversy. I've talked about the cancer, whether or not it does cause cancer. And if you paid attention to this video, the bottom line is that no, soy does not cause cancer. It does not cause reproductive cancers. Studies show that soy is either helpful in reducing your risk of cancer or neutral at best, but not harmful. Even processed forms of soy, like soy protein isolates that are very common in processed foods, they're neutral. They're not gonna make you sick. They're not gonna cause cancer. Now, the whole thing around man boobs, because in case anybody has that question, I feel like I should address it. That's like coming from this toxic masculinity sphere, where the idea is that if men eat soy, they're not eating meat, which makes them a weak male. And this is just like a weird, horrible myth that is tied to men who do not eat meat. Men who do not eat meat are doing fine. They are healthy. They can be healthy, I should say. They can be healthy. They can be thriving. They can be extremely muscular and strong and stereotypically manly if they want to be. They can do all the stuff that the meat-eating men do. That's a myth. It's not grounded in any truth whatsoever at all. Okay? There are people who should totally avoid soy at all costs, and that is because soy is a common allergen, just like milk and shellfish and peanuts are. Some people are allergic. The good thing about soy allergies is that if they are a childhood allergy, children often outgrow them in adulthood, so that's great. But obviously, I know this is common sense. If you're allergic, don't eat it. If you're having any health problems, this video is not here to address them or to help you with them. Instead, go see your doctor, because I'm not a doctor. I am not a nutritionist. Instead, this video is just my research I created a video about, and I'm going to link the sources down below if you want to read more about the benefits of soy, the studies, some really easy to read nutrition articles about soy, so you can further educate yourself. I hope that as you've watched this video and learned about the benefits of soy and how soy can help you, I've hoped you've worked up a little bit of an appetite. So I've put together a soy recipe guide that you can download for free. There's a link down below. Just enter your email address and I'll send it to you immediately, with loads of soy recipes that are wholesome, that support a healthy plant-based diet overall. Now, I don't want you to replace all of your plant-based protein with soy. That is not necessary at all. Instead, soy can just be a part of your regular plant-based diet. You continue to eat beans and lentils and peas and whole grains and all those things, but this video, I hope, just shows you that you should not be afraid of soy and you should continue enjoying it if you already have been, or if you've been avoiding it because you were afraid of it, then I hope this video shows you and proves to you that you can be enjoying it, and download that PDF so that you can learn how to cook soy. And if you have any questions ask them in the comment section down below if you guys want to have a little argument around soy, because some people are still going to think that it is bad for you. If y'all want to talk it out, do so in the comment section below. I would love to contribute, and I'd love to read everything that you guys have to say. If you have any questions, I would love to answer those for you. And yeah, let's just keep it going, because I know people are gonna still have questions about this controversial food. Now, after talking about soy and food with you guys for so long, now I'm ready. So I'm gonna say goodbye. I'm gonna make myself the edamame salad from my blog. If you haven't tried it yet, check it out. I'm gonna link that down below as well. But again, if you need more recipes, tap the link down below to download my soy recipe guide and learn how to make all my favorite soy recipes with tofu, tempeh, soybeans, all the good stuff, all right? I hope you found this video useful and helpful, and I thank you so much for watching. I will see you here next time on Sweet Potato Soul. Bye!